Right, let's give you some politics news now, shall we? The 2024 general elections are approaching and political parties have started gearing up. The elections have been described as a watershed moment for South Africa. Early projections are that the ANC will, for the first time in history, get below 50%. Well, the saying goes, or as the saying goes, politics makes for strange bedfellows. Now that the ANC Veterans League says the party should look at a grand coalition with the DA, apparently. Let's speak to the League's convener, Snuki Zikalala, who says there is only one thing standing in the way of that. He joins us now live to tell us more. Mr. Zikalala, thank you very much for your time here on ENCA. It's going to be a very interesting few months with the campaigning that will be taking place with different political parties, new ones even being formed and introduced this year. What do you think as the Veterans League? Do you think that you should be speaking to parties such as the DA, EFF about a possible coalition on a national level?
No. I think the whole thing was misplaced. As Veterans League, we are going to these elections being convinced and committed that we'll win the elections. We know very well exactly why our voters stayed away from voting for the ANC. It is because we have failed them in terms of service delivery. Now, we as veterans, we are saying that we know that there are 42 municipalities which are dysfunctional, and we said to COCTA and that we'll definitely work with them to ensure that we fix what is broken, to make sure that there is service delivery. When it comes to coalitions, there is no policy of the ANC currently on coalitions. Currently, the NEC of the ANC gave an assignment to Comrade David Makura as the head of political education to put up a policy on coalitions. And of course, the Veterans League in that committee is being represented by Comrade Meg Maharaj. This weekend, the NEC is going to look at that policy. It is then that we'll be able to pronounce what will it do when it comes to coalitions. Coalitions should not be there for the sake of individuals to benefit out of them, but when coalitions are there, they must be there in order to serve society, in order to serve people who voted those parties to power and nothing else. And so what we are saying is Veterans League, let's wait for the policy. A committee that is coming up with a proposal over the weekend, then we'll be able to pronounce accurately and will articulate the position of the African National Congress properly.
When you look at the leaders of the ANC that are at the forefront at the moment, that South Africans get to see on a daily basis, do you think it's the kind of ANC that you used to be a part of as the Veterans League, that used to be able to convince people of exactly what you're saying at the moment, that we will have service delivery, that things like load shedding will come to an end? Do you really look at the leaders that are currently there and think that South Africans will believe it?
Well, we as Veterans League, we feel that some of our leaders feel that they are more important than voters. And so we are saying that that must come to an end. We are voted into power by ordinary people. And so we must come down to earth and make sure that we provide quality service for our people. We're not above people. And so we are not happy with some of them, but at the same time, we are saying that we're not going to grandstand and point fingers. The only thing that we have to do as veterans, we have to fold our shoulders and make sure that we participate actively in all structures of the ANC, from branch level to the top, to make sure that we connect with society. We have disconnected with society. That's where the problem is. And so we as veterans, we are saying that leaders, they must come up, down from the top and be part and parcel of society so that they serve society, the society that elected them to be where they are. And so we are convinced that in the coming NEC that's going to take place over this weekend for 4 days, we'll be able to make sure that we articulate those positions and make sure that we have a program of action that will make us to win the coming 2024 elections. And that's why we are saying that we want to fix municipalities that are dysfunctional, want to fix the bridges, want to fix the sewage that is flowing in our communities, want to provide quality education for our children in the country. That's what is important. That's all that our people are asking for and nothing more.
You have about 12 to 18 months to do that. Do you think you can?
I think we as veterans were committed because so many people have died for this country, so many people have been imprisoned, tortured, and families have lost a lot. And so we are saying that we're not going to disappoint our society that gave us for the past 30 years that we must govern on their behalf. We're not going to disappoint them. We'll make sure that that happens. Come hook or crook, we'll make sure that that happens, that the ANC deliver on its mandate, that we fix what we broke, some of us, because we deployed people who were not compassionate, people who were not fit for purpose. And so that's what let us down. And people are just interested in what we call craft materialism. We want to get rid of that. We want leaders who connect with society, leaders who are there to serve society.
Does the Veterans League still have a strong, strong convincing hand in the ANC? I mean, for instance, there were veterans who would write to, for instance, I'll just give you an example, the former president of the ANC asking him to step down because of corruption allegations by a veteran who unfortunately has passed away in the form of Ahmed Kathrada. The response there was, don't tell us what to do, we will be able to, lead the party in the right way, etc. So it's sort of as if the veterans are being ignored here and there. So do you still think you have a convincing hand with today's leaders of the ANC?
No, we do. Our General Secretary, Fikile Mbalula, respects us immediately when we request for an appointment. He definitely honors those appointments. The President does respect us, and we serve and we sit in the National Working Committee of the ANC and in the NEC of the ANC. And so that is where we are able to convince comrades that, look, just be serious about governing the country properly. The only thing that we are saying is that the law enforcement agencies, they're really disappointing us, because currently there are comrades who are implicated in the Zondo Commission, but some of them have not been arrested as yet. And the president cannot tell NPA what to do. NPA must just do the right thing. Let them just arrest those who are found wanting, those who have put their fingers in the kitty. Let them be arrested. It's all that we're saying. We should not spare any individual who is involved in corruption. That should not be allowed. Our people want to see that happening, because currently we're all painted with the same brush that we are corrupt. Some of us have never even stolen a cent where we're working. We're not corrupt, but there are individuals who are corrupt. The ANC policies make it very clear that it's an organization that is there to serve our people. If individuals are corrupt, they must face the full might of the law. The NPA is very disappointing us as the Veterans League.
I think you're right there. When it comes to accountability, we don't see it, and I wonder if you see it within the ANC, but I think you've answered that question for me. Mr. Zikalala, just one question before I let you go. With all these political parties, opposition parties, including the DA, Action SA, for instance, even the UDM lately, saying that their mandate is to try and unseat the ANC next year. What do you make of that? If all these opposition parties come together, there is a possibility that they'll achieve this?
Well, I think we're with UDM and EFF, we're fishing from the same pond. And so we currently are in power. We must make sure that we satisfy our society. We must make sure that we deliver to the masses. The masses stayed away from us in 2021 because we did not provide quality service to them. And so that is why we are saying that we need a program of action that will convince our masses that the ANC can deliver. And we know that we can do that. And what we are saying, that these parties, of course, they are there to unseat us. EFF makes it very clear that they are there to unseat us. They tell us exactly that they don't want to see our president. They hate him. We saw what they did in Parliament, where they tried to attack him. And so why do you have to go into a collision with such characters? And what we are saying as Veterans League, we are going there to 2024 to win the elections, to convince the masses that we can provide quality service. It's all that our people want and nothing else.
Mr. Snuki Zikalala, thank you so much, sir, for speaking to us here on All Angles. He is the ANC Veterans. He is from the ANC's Veterans League.